Hi guys, I'm Annette and welcome to Chase for Adventure. We have been traveling through Southeast Asia for over a year and a half, and at least 6 months of those have been in Thailand. So today I'm going to be teaching you exactly what you need to pack for a 2-week trip to Thailand. If you are out there and want to follow along with the packing list that we provide with this video, you can click the link down below and download it, print it, and we're going to go ahead and begin. The first topic that we're going to be talking about today is the electronics that you're going to be needing during your trip. For starters, it is important to note that all of the volts in Thailand are 220 volts and they use a 2-prong European plug. So if you're coming to Thailand, you're actually going to be needing one of these. This is going to be a universal travel converter. We use the Best Tech converter. We really love it and we've been using it the entire time that we've been traveling. The nice thing about this converter is that it comes with all of the plugs that you'll need anywhere you're traveling to, but the standard one is exactly what you're going to be needing for Thailand. You can also use an adapter if your electronics permit you to use an adapter. You can always check on the back of the label and see if it takes up to 220 volts. Another item that's going to be super duper handy for you during your travels, especially if you're going to be doing long plane rides, long bus rides, long train rides, or even riding boats, oftentimes you're going to realize that your phone battery will exhaust before you get to a location, and if you're using a GPS, that is obviously not ideal. So we recommend that you bring a power bank. We got this one really in some random electronics store in Thailand. We have a few recommendations that you can click down below, but any power bank will do so long as it allows enough battery to charge your electronics. Now, this is something that I'm not necessarily going to show you because hopefully it's obvious, but we've included it in the packing list so that you don't forget it. Make sure that you bring your phone charger, even though if you leave these things at home, you can buy them at 7-Elevens all throughout Thailand. It's still nice to bring your own. It's going to be a little bit higher quality and you won't have to worry about it breaking halfway through. Oh, so essential on an amazing trip through Thailand, you're gonna need a waterproof camera. Thailand is a beautiful country, and some of the best things about this country are its islands and water sports, and even sometimes lakes and water parks. So if you're going to Chiang Mai and going to the Chiang Mai Water Park, or you're going to be going to Railay Beach and snorkeling, you're gonna wanna bring a waterproof cam. We use our GoPro 6 for everything. I think now they have the GoPro Hero 7, but any waterproof cam that you enjoy suits you. If you're going to want to look a little nicer, and for example, as you can tell, I have a hair straightener with me on this trip, and Daniel always carries a hair trimmer, we do recommend that you bring those if you do plan on going to nice bars, especially in Bangkok, where you do need to look a little bit more kept, or even going out in Chiang Mai. But if you're going to be bumming it out on some island, or going to Koh Phangan and just having a good old time, those are totally not necessary, but I thought it'd be worth mentioning them. A lifesaver, especially if you're coming from the Western world and you're going to be taking this really long haul flight all the way to Thailand, and let's say you get stuck, unfortunately, next to a cute little baby that is unhappy because their ears are popping and they don't know why, make sure that you bring some headphones. These have been so helpful to us on all of our long haul flights, on all of our long bus journeys, especially when we went from Chiang Mai to Pai. It's just nice to have this and listen to podcasts and anything else that you'd want to listen to when you're going through a long journey. Something else that I really recommend, and obviously you're going to know how many pictures you're going to take and how many videos you're going to take more than I will, but we recommend at least a 32GB memory card, and maybe even bring another extra one just in case that one runs out. If you bring your laptop and you're going to be offloading the memory cards as your travels go along, by all means do that. We use a 128GB memory card because obviously we're filmmakers, but also it makes dang sure that no matter where we go or what we're doing, we're not going to run out of memory during our trip. Kicking off the miscellaneous section of the packing list, we're starting off with a water bottle. Why do we recommend that you bring a refillable water bottle? Honestly guys, it's part of sustainable travel and responsible travel. You'll notice once you get out here that, especially if you're going to places like Phuket, it's really polluted and there's plastic in the ocean, and there's lots of plastic in Thailand. Now things are getting better, but they do have refill stations all over the place, so you can bring your own water bottle and make sure that you have water on you so you're nice and healthy, and also help the earth. If you're coming on our Thailand tours, then you would know that we will be refilling all of your refillable water bottles for you every single morning and every single evening. So if you bring it, we cover the water. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go to 7-Eleven and use plastic. The next part of the packing list, you're gonna wanna bring a microfiber towel. When you come to Thailand and you're staying in hostels or even some hotels, you'll notice that they don't always include towels. And if you go to one of the places on our Thailand itinerary that you can pick up down below for free, we recommend Khao National Park. They definitely don't include towels, and microfiber towels are really small. They fold up super tiny, and this towel is like big enough to be a blanket. So make sure that you bring your towel. It's gonna save you some money on rental fees, and it's just nice to have as a beach blanket and as a picnic blanket. The next part of the list is you're gonna wanna bring whatever makeup and hair stuff that you're gonna wanna bring on the trip. Some people decide that they don't wanna wear makeup at all because #vacation, so whatever. Obviously, we take pictures and we'd like to look good for our photos and our videos, so we do bring at least a few hair ties, and we really recommend those because Thailand is really hot. Guys, you just don't have this problem. Lucky you. Bring some hair gel, although you'll be able to find hair gels at 7-Eleven if you do leave those behind, and bring a comb. The last thing on the miscellaneous list is we do recommend that you bring all of your prescription medications with you. There are tons of pharmacies in Thailand, so you'll be able to find a lot of the things even without a prescription. For example, things like inhalers, paracetamol, ibuprofen, Advil, and anything of the like you'll be able to find here. But things like hydrocodone, if that's something that you need to take, or a heart medication, those are things that you're gonna wanna bring. We use this really nice, handy little pill box. We've never had an issue coming into Thailand without them being in the proper boxes, so you'd be just fine carrying this around with you, and it keeps everything nice and organized. The next category on our list, and probably the one that you're most curious about, is clothing. How much clothing should you bring on a 2-week trip to Thailand? Well, if you've watched any one of our other videos, you know that Daniel and I travel full-time carry-on only, and that is exactly what we recommend when you come to Thailand. Why do we recommend that? Well, you're going to probably be going to the islands, which means you're going to be getting on some long-tail boats, which also means that you're going to have to basically swim with all of your stuff in the ocean to get to the boat. If you have a whole bunch of stuff or a rolly bag, that's going to be really difficult for you, so we do recommend that you bring a backpack. And carry-on just makes it cheaper and easier to travel through the country, and you really just don't need that much stuff. So as far as what we recommend, I personally travel with 3 pairs of underwear, but if you're planning on only doing laundry a couple of times, I do recommend that you just bring the full 7, and you can also wash and do laundry all throughout Thailand, so that is totally not a sweat. The next fit that we recommend that you bring is 1 set of PJs, especially if you're gonna be staying in hostels. It's gonna be really easy for you to just have those PJs to throw on right before bed, and if you're sharing a bathroom, you don't wanna flash everybody at the hostel. I have never done that before. For a 2-week trip, if you're trying to do this as minimally as possible, we do recommend that you just bring 1 swimsuit. Unless you're spending the entire 2 weeks down in the islands, that's the only time that I would recommend that you bring another swimsuit, just in case that the other one's wet. But most itineraries, especially if you're following the Thailand itinerary that we have down below, you'll notice that we only have about 4 days that happen in the water. And for those days, you'll be fine with just 1 swimsuit. It'll keep your baggage to a minimum and make sure that you can travel carry-on only and save on luggage fees. For my ladies out there, I personally travel with only 1 bra, but if you've seen any of our vlogs, you notice that I barely wear that 1 bra. If you do like to wear bras, I will say it is so sweaty in Thailand. I do recommend that you bring 2 because you'll realize that by the end of the day, they are saturated with sweat. Now, one thing that we really recommend that you bring is a light rain jacket. Now, listen, I love Thailand. It is a beautiful country, and quite frankly, the weather is beautiful the majority of the time. But when it rains, it pours, and I mean that literally. I have never seen raindrops so fat in my life, and our weather-resistant jackets, like they're water-resistant and not waterproof, get totally and utterly soaked. You would think that we were wearing, I don't know, a swimsuit. So make sure that you bring a light rain jacket that is waterproof, because if it does a sign of monsoon rain, I don't want you to have to get soaked. In Thailand, you're going to be going through a whole bunch of temples, and temples do require you to dress a little bit more modestly than you typically would anywhere else. So for everyone out there, you do need to cover your shoulders and cover your knees. So for that, we recommend for the gentlemen to bring 1 pair of pants, and for the ladies out there, you can choose to not bring pants and buy a sarong when you get here. They're beautiful and they're about 100 baht, but if you did want to bring your own skirt, you can do that as well. Now, Daniel and I travel with exclusively 2 pairs of shorts, and I actually recommend that these are nice, light, and linen shorts. Like I've mentioned before, Thailand is very, very hot, and I don't want you to like overheat when you're here. So just bring 2 pairs of shorts and you'll be fine. As far as how many shirts you should bring on a 2-week trip to Thailand, I really only recommend that you bring 5. I personally travel full-time with even less than that, just kind of hand washing things in my sink. Daniel travels with just about that many. Just make sure that they are light material. This is Daniel's "I'm on vacation, don't bother me" shirt. But if you can see, the shirt that I'm wearing is literally super duper thin. It's light, it's breathable. When you wash it, it dries immediately. And those are the kinds of shirts that you want to be packing. Dry fit's also a really great option, but really you do not have to bring more than 5. One thing I really recommend you bring to Thailand, and I reckon it's gonna only be one of the 2 shoes that you're gonna be bringing: flip-flops. You can bring any pair of flip-flops that you like. We have the ones that we recommend that have lasted us for years down below, although I will admit that I lost them and they're gone now, and we did buy these somewhere during our travels. So just bring flip-flops, you're gonna be set. That's what most people in Thailand wear everywhere, literally to go to 7-Eleven, to go to the bar, everyone's in flip-flops. Now, like I mentioned, I lost my flip-flops, which means the only shoes I literally own, and the only shoes I have owned for a very long time, are hiking sandals. I enthusiastically recommend that you get Tebas. I had Chacos in the past and they honestly smelled like something died in them. I know that there's like diehard Chacos people out there. I don't judge you. If you figured out a way to clean it, leave it down in the comments below because I would love to know. But my Tebas were actually cheaper than the Chacos and they lasted much, much longer. I lost those in Hanoi as well. So these are the bootleg version that I found in the Philippines. But hiking sandals are really gonna be the only shoes that you need in Thailand, and I really encourage you to buy them. Why? Because you're gonna be doing things like hiking, you're going to be going into the water, you're going to be walking around the city for hours on end, and you're gonna want a shoe that's versatile and comfortable and something that doesn't take up space in your bag, especially since we're gonna be traveling carry-on only. Now, if you are out there and going like, sorry Annette, but hiking sandals are not my jam, and you decide to bring trainers instead, that is totally fine. By the way, trainers is the English and Australian lingo for sneakers. I lived with Australians and English people for far too long, so sorry about that, my American peeps. But if you do decide to bring sneakers or trainers, bring socks because obviously you're gonna need them, although you can find them at any 7-Eleven if you did forget anything back home. Moving on to the organization and where you're gonna keep all of your belongings in your bag and on you, I really recommend that you guys bring a travel wallet. This right here is a neck wallet. You can put it around your neck and hide it under your shirt. I've honestly not had any issues with pickpockets in Thailand or anybody trying to rob us, but just as good judgment as a traveler, you always want to err on the side of caution, especially when it's your valuables like passports and money. So make sure that you bring a wallet, if not a travel wallet / neck wallet, make sure that it's a wallet that you can hide in a pocket or that you can lock up somewhere. Now, when it comes to the organization inside of your bag, it is essential that you have some sort of mechanism so that in 2 weeks you don't go crazy having to look for that one crazy glue that you threw into your bag months ago that you now forgot where it is, right? So the way that we organize all of our stuff is we use travel cubes. These are the shake packs. They have a lifetime warranty. We've been really happy with them. We've had them since the beginning of our full-time travels almost 2 years ago, and the zippers just don't quit. And I think that's my favorite part of the shake packs. You'd be impressed how much stuff we've put into these things. I mean, as you can see, this one's busting at the seams. So these are really handy. It comes with 4 different sizes. I only use the 2 smallest sizes for all of our full-time travels, especially since you're able to just shove everything in there and tighten it really tight. So really recommend that you bring those. Another thing that I really recommend, this is especially for my ladies out there that are probably gonna be taking a lot more toiletries than the men, I really recommend that you get a toiletry bag, and specifically one that has a hook. It doesn't have to be this wild, crazy, hot pink leopard pattern that I've got going on, but these are just so handy because, especially when you're staying in hostels or in places that don't have a lot of space, you're able to hang this little hook on the doorknob of the bathroom door, over doors, in closets, and it just keeps everything so organized and nice. This is almost like a piece of furniture for us. It's our toiletry bag, it's our medicine cabinet, it is my hair drawer and my makeup drawer and where I keep all of my jewelry, and I could not be happier with this thing. So bring a toiletry bag. Now, one thing that's going to be really useful to you, especially if you're planning on doing any water sports like kayaking, or when you get on a long tailboat to go to Khao Sok National Park, we recommend that you bring a waterproof bag. Obviously, we use this primarily to keep our valuables whenever we're doing water activities, but also something that it's extremely useful for is keeping your dirty laundry. For one, the hook that it has up here makes it really easy to put around doorknobs and around chairs, so it props it up almost like a laundry basket. The other bit is if unfortunately you end up having to travel with your dirty laundry, you're able to put it in here and roll it up nice and tight, and it keeps all of the stinky smells in. And now, almost the most essential bit of organization that you're gonna need is gonna be your backpack. Now, if you're doing exclusively a 2-week trip to Thailand, I do recommend that you get one of these Osprey backpacks. You don't have to get a 55 liter. Daniel and I actually, both of us live out of one 55 liter Osprey backpack. So especially if you're traveling minimally, you can definitely swing a 45 liter or even a 35 liter if you were extra minimalist. But the really nice thing about the 55 liter is that it comes with a detachable day pack. This handy little thing actually sits right outside of the backpack, and whenever you're going to go on a day trip or on a hike, you could unzip it from the rest of the bag and keep only the things that you need for that day on you, and it doesn't actually add another layer of bulk to your kit. The next and final bit of the packing list is going to be your toiletries. Now, I'm gonna put one big fat blanket statement that you could find every single thing on this list here in Thailand at a 7-Eleven for very, very cheap. But if you are picky and, for example, I really like dry deodorant, you're gonna want to bring that kind of thing from back home because, for example, all of the deodorant here in Thailand is the liquid roly kind or the spray kind, which is just not my favorite. But starting off with the list, you're gonna wanna bring toothpaste and a toothbrush. Now, I actually love the toothpaste that's here in Thailand. Whatever it is, just make sure that you bring a travel size toothpaste so that it can fit carry-on regulations. The next bit I know we've already discussed is going to be deodorant. If you're coming from America and you're not used to those liquid roly things or that spray weird stuff and you really like dry deodorant, make sure that you bring it from back home. These nice solid ones can travel carry-on only, even if you get the biggest size. We did find this one in Thailand, but it was one of the more expensive ones and they only had one brand. So if you're used to a very specific deodorant that you want from back home, make sure that you bring it. Now, if you like to smell good, make sure that you bring your perfume and cologne from back home. Just make sure that it is no bigger than 100 milliliters because anything above that will be confiscated at the airport if you're trying to travel carry-on only, and perfume is a little bit harder to find here in Thailand. If you are particular about the shampoo and conditioner that you have, make sure that you put them into 100 milliliter tubes. We use Goob tubes and they are amazing. We love them for 1,000,001 reasons. For one, they don't leak. Like, as you can see, I'm like squeezing the heck out of this one and it's not popping open. So I've never had to worry about, you know, having a big mess in my bag because of the Goob tubes. They also let you, without having to write it on the outside of the bag, I can see very clearly here that this is lotion, but if tomorrow I wanted to fill it with shampoo, I could just change this little plastic thing to the area that says shampoo and then I know what it is. Just whatever you decide, whether you decide to go with Goob tubes or you decide to get whichever ones you can find at Walmart for $1, just make sure that they are 100 milliliters so they are carry-on compliant. I will say this next one is extremely important: sunscreen. In Thailand, you're gonna need sunscreen because the sun here is really hot and awful. But I also will tell you that sunscreen in Thailand is very, very expensive. I'm talking like $20 for a bottle that is this big. So make sure that you bring sunscreen from back home. That's actually the only thing that we put inside of these Goob tubes because we wanna make sure that we always have it on deck. The next and last thing on the list is gonna be contact solution. If you use contacts, that's gonna be something that's gonna be quite difficult for you to find in Thailand. They only usually sell them at pharmacies and not every pharmacy carries it. And furthermore, you're not gonna be able to find them carry-on compliant. You're gonna be forced to buy the big old bottle. So make sure that you bring your travel size contact solution with you so that you don't have to interrupt your contact usage and wear glasses. Now, some things that you're going to be able to find in Thailand that you're gonna need, but I don't recommend that you actually bring, it's gonna be bug spray. There are mosquitoes here everywhere, especially if you're going into remote areas like Khao Sok National Park. You have chances of getting malaria or dengue fever. Daniel can tell you all about that. But it is super duper cheap and easy to find at any 7-Eleven all throughout Thailand. And if you've never been to Thailand before, I'm telling you there's a 7-Eleven in every single block. Alrighty guys, so that actually wraps up our packing list. If you want a free Thailand packing list, make sure that you click the link down below. It's totally free and printable and you can use it to prep for your Thailand trip. We also will be linking down below the 2-week Thailand itinerary if you guys are curious about what to do on your trip. But if you actually want to circumvent the entire process of trying to figure out what to see in Thailand, we have literally come here over 6 times and have spent a total of 6 months in this country, and we're gonna be running 2 Thailand tours March of 2020 and November of 2020. So if you want a chance to travel with the Thailand experts, make sure that you click the link down below as well and join us on Thailand Tip to Tip. On that note, guys, we hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about your packing situation, go ahead and put it down in the comments below. We will be happy to help you pack exactly what you need for this trip. Make sure that you give this video a like if you enjoyed it. It really helps us out. And click the subscribe button so that you can see the rest of our adventures around the world. On that note, guys, we'll see you on our next adventure.